Absolutely. I went to school in Baltimore City, and growing up in New Jersey, I grew up 2 miles from the beach. So Baltimore was a whole different world to me. And I'm just thinking about that. I remember volunteering with the Urban League, and at that time, a lot of the housing projects that were in Baltimore City. And that was always a thing. It was really talking about how to create that upward mobility, and how could that be done in a way that the wealth was redistributed, and therefore it does affect communities on a much grander scale. It's not just the wealth, it's the jobs, it's the little kids seeing the mother, the father, the aunt, the uncle, the cousin with the job and going to the job, and like, I want to be like them when I grow up. So I want to have that kind of job or to do something similar. And it has such a ripple effect through our communities. And I greatly appreciate you sharing that, because that's what our, like, entrepreneurs, we are those job creating engines. It's not we think of all the larger corporations and the jobs, but we have that direct impact when it comes to hiring and who we hire and where that money can actually go and where to direct that. So I'm so yes and amen to all of that, and to keep us moving forward by taking our profit first. Now, you mentioned your book. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. Well, it's now on sale for pre-order. So you can go to Amazon.com and order Profit First for Minority Business Enterprises by Suzanne Morega. The paper copies will be going on sale in the probably mid-April is when those will go on sale. So you can definitely get your copy, get it on pre-order. It already hit number one release today we announced it. So this is going to be a big deal. If you order the day it releases, you'll probably have to wait a week or so before it comes in. So definitely get your book copy right now for that. And we're going to go deep on it. We're going to cover some of the traditional profit first things that it covers with the cash management system, but we're actually going to go a lot deeper. We're going to talk about things like government contracting. There's
Mm.
how to successfully compete for government contracts. We're going to talk about things that people don't talk about, right? And what that I'm going to share some of my experience with how we got our government contracts in there too. We're also going to talk about building generational wealth through to tax strategies, right? I know Kiva, you and I talked a little bit before we started recording about just how your son had a Roth IRA, and
Yes.
he's building wealth before he's even 18. You're already starting to transfer that wealth. We're going to talk about tax strategies such as that, and we're going to get into some even deeper strategies. We're going to talk about how does Warren Buffett pay less taxes than his secretary in terms of percentage, right?
Yes.
We're going to get deep into that. We're also going to talk about the big elephant in the room, right? And that is how to enter rooms where nobody looks like you. Because, as you grow in your success, right, eventually, in order to grow out of that circle, right, to grow and have a bigger impact, you're going to have to start to work with people that don't look like you, may not even want to work with you, right?
That's
And
right.
so, how do you navigate that circle? How do you build that network? How do you really become an influencer in your industry? And we're going to dive into that within the book also. So definitely check the book out. It's things that have never been talked about before.
Oh my gosh, that sounds exciting. So everyone make sure you should look that up on Amazon, and I'll make sure to include a link down in below in the comments. All right. So how can our listeners connect with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is directly through our masterclass. We host a free masterclass. That's a 5-day masterclass where literally we're going to teach you the ins and outs of Profit First. And I think the next one that's scheduled is for the end of April. But you can find that class by going on to Facebook and searching Profit First Masterclass with Suzanne Morega. Make sure it says with Suzanne Morega. There's a few other non-legit ones out there, but make sure you go to Profit First with
Yes.
Suzanne Morega to get to the author.
Awesome. Well, definitely. We'll have to include that link as well. That's amazing. Well, I want to just thank you so much, Suzanne, because this has been so enlightening. And I'm sure that our viewers are going to greatly appreciate this as we all seek to not only create generational wealth, but create generational shifts that really will have, as we talked about earlier, just a ripple effect. As two women, we just spoke the other day about equal women's pay day, and that doesn't actually come for us yet until August. And to really start to think about that, I've had that conversation with my daughter, like, and you have a daughter. we don't want that to be like August for them, where their pay is finally going to equal what someone else, a white man, made in the year prior. So, making sure that we do things now by taking our profit first, by setting our kids up in ways that they have access to that generational wealth, that we create the generational shifts that we want to see and actually make them happen in our own lifetimes and not saying someday or for some other person to bring that about. So, thank you again so much for sharing with us about Profit First and how to better manage our cash. And so, everyone else, I will include links in the bottom and the text comments below. And please make sure you check out upcoming Profit First for minority business enterprises so that we can continue to create those shifts in our world that we want to see. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Kiva, for having me.
Thank you.